lift off the ground and I realize that I'm free. It's the best experience I know, because I've left Mother Earth and I'm free to fly. And it's just an exhilarating experience to know that I'm drifting with the wind and that I'm going to land probably someplace I've never landed before and meet new people. My name is John Ross. I'm a balloon pilot. I'm a commercial balloon pilot. In order to describe what ballooning is like, you have to start from the beginning. And the beginning is that ballooning is a family and friend sport. I mean, you can do it by yourself, but there's a very rare exceptions. And so you have to have a flight crew and you have to have a sense of teamwork in order to make ballooning work. A balloon is made up of a basket that holds and protects you, and a burner, the hot air burner that we all hear and see, that puts out a tremendous amount of heat. On my burner, I'm putting out 21 million BTUs of heat. And so an average house is 70,000 BTUs. So you're heating about 55 houses if you do the math. And then an envelope that everybody calls a balloon. An envelope can be small, large, special shape, you name it. There's been all kinds of tetrahedrons, round balloons, racer football balloons. Bottom line is 3 components: a basket that holds and protects you, a burner that gives you the energy, and an envelope that gives you the lift. When you take off in a hot air balloon, you become an instrument meteorologist, and in fact you become a micrometeorologist, because a layer 50 feet up from you, the top of the balloon is 90 feet above your head. And the winds at 90 feet above your head may be different than where you're standing. So you're constantly mapping the winds in your head. 50 feet below me, I'm going left. 50 feet above me, I'm going right. I want to just hold this right down this little lane here in front of us until we get over the trucks, and then we'll drop it down and land on the road, hopefully. You have to have a much greater heightened sense of situational awareness in an aircraft that has limits of navigability. I control it very precisely this way. Mother Nature and the winds controls it this way. And she's somewhat fickle sometimes. They did warn us it was light and variable. The instruments have 3 functions. They tell you the temperature at the top of the envelope. You want to keep that below 225. It tells you your variometer, how fast you're going up and down, both digitally as well as graphically. And you also have an altimeter. It tells you how far above the ground you are, so you can see your rate of descent and where you are. You very rarely look at your instruments because you can feel in the balls of your feet if you're going up and down, or you can look at the shadow. If the shadow goes away, you're going up. If the shadow's coming towards you, you're going down. If the shadow is right even, then you're flying even. So basically you're using your senses. The only time I would really look at my instruments was I was worried about temperature, or if I was worried about I was dropping too fast, I'd go over there and look. And I've got an audible set on mine, and at 400 feet per minute, it gives me a beep. Over Church Rock, and then we'll dive down. Fun chase, this is fun. We're going to probably land in the next 5 to 10 minutes on the road back here behind these buildings. There are 4 balloons out here, so you just take the road off of the main road and come right in Superman Canyon Road, and you should be able to recover me. Okay, we are on the ground safely. We're right next to a bunch of houses. There's a lady out here raking. You're going to have to drive up the road. You need to ask permission once you get out of the vehicle to come on over to the balloon. So you need to ask permission, okay? Well, we committed aviation once more. One of the first things I noticed when I first got exposed to ballooning in 1992 was that it was a people sport, a family sport, a friend sport, and that there was multiple components. There was the flying that everybody loves to do, but as importantly, and probably even more importantly, it's the social atmosphere of that ballooning community.
see, we're all tailgating together here, and I'm making hot buttered drums, and there'll be champagne, and actually a turkey comes cooking over there, so that's pretty much what we do. We all come back and tell our stories about where we landed and who didn't land right.
This particular group, most of them are from California, and they go all around the country together, and different people do different things. So we've got the deep fryer with all the deep fried food. David's here working on the hot buttered rum, and there's all kinds of stuff around, and people just talk and tell flying stories and eat. It's fabulous.
It was a beautiful flight. We took off here in the rocks and flew about 3.5 miles. Took about an hour, played in some canyons, and landed out there on the road.
Today's flight was awesome. It was the first time I've flown out here in the canyons. It was really, really cool. We got way down inside one and sat there for a while, and it was warm, so I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. And my crew loved chasing through the mud. Four-wheel drive truck paid off.
The flight today was spiritual. It was just a phenomenal flight. We actually expected faster winds, and so when I was able to dip down into the first canyon and just play amongst the rocks and the rock formations, it was just beyond beautiful. And I flew to a part of the canyons that I've never been able to fly to before, and had a first passenger who was her first time flight ever in this area.
Flying the Red Rocks is incredible. It's one of my 2 favorite places to fly, and just playing on the rocks. I didn't get to play the rocks too much today, but it was yesterday I was on the rocks up there for almost half an hour, just kind of bouncing around, almost reverse rappelling at some points, just kicking off and dropping down and kicking off and dropping down. And you know, flying the rocks in a basket balloon here is great, but flying the rocks in a cloudhopper is incredible.
So we took off very early, and we went up pretty fast. It's amazing how fast we go. We saw a whole bunch of animals. We saw a fox, a deer, a rabbit, and a bear. We saw a bear.
When we first came here, we saw the pilots come up over the Red Rocks and then go down on the other side, and we thought, what's with these idiots? Nobody knows how to fly here. They're going up and down. And then when you're in a balloon, it's actually part of the beauty of what happens here, and you can roll the basket along the rocks. You get up. Yesterday we saw probably 20 head of deer. Today we're in the chase crew, and we've got 12 wild mustangs running in front of us in the road, and it's just an amazing place to come and play.
When the conditions are right, you can really just take your balloon right up the face of one cliff, get a little bit of wind, take it over to the next canyon, and then slide down to the next canyon, and just have great flights, great photo opportunities. It's a real pleasure.
There's a maneuver we used to call the curse and burn, where you come over and you just nick the top of the rock as you go over, and you vent real hard. But if you vent too hard, you're cursing and burning all the way to the canyon floor on the other side. This is the best balloon playground in the world. That's what I like about the Red Rocks.
This is the perfect place. There is no place better on earth to fly a hot air balloon.
I love coming to Gallup because we always goes near the rocks, and it's almost like hiking except lazier.
There's nothing fast about it. Everything's slow. You put it together slow, you fly slow. With fixed wing, you're going to take off and go somewhere. This is not a destination flight. This is I have infinite control up and down. I have no control this way.
Any other kind of aircraft, you have a throttle and controls, and you can just go to an airport. Here in ballooning, you have to be one with nature, and you have to be attuned to what's happening around you, and it changes through your flight. The temperature changes, the winds change, and you've got to respond to all those, and you really become one with that whole experience, and you're one with the wind. I know that sounds maybe corny, but it's such a spiritual experience, and to share that with people for the first time is just beyond awesome. We just absolutely, who gets to live this life? I mean, it's like nothing else.
I've done 71 Young Eagle flights with balloons.
I just like leaving the ground. I love flying.
The joy that you see, the light in the eyes when they see these aircraft light up at night or during the day, or they get a chance to fly, or they get a chance to see a glow. To me, ballooning is the purest form of aviation. You get up, you go out there in the morning or in the evening, and you put your aircraft together and you float away.
It is a beautiful place to fly.
It's a sport. It's a fabulous sport. It draws together people that have similar interests, like anything else in aviation. And when you join our community, it's a people community. The people will go bend over backwards to help you out. They'll help you and they'll teach you and they'll show you the tricks of the trade. And just get involved. You're going to find there's a whole subculture around the country in the ballooning community.